First of all, starting with these 3 prior learning questions. The trick with these ones is that we were learning about double negatives last lesson. Okay, and remember 2 negatives make a plus. So if we have -2 minus, quite likely there's going to be another minus sign here because we need to get to 10. Okay, and if we're at -2, the only way to get to a positive 10 is to add something on, right? So to get from -2 to 10 means you actually have to go up 12 places, but I need the minus sign there as well, so the 2 minuses make a plus. Okay, so it's -2 plus 12 would equal the 10. Let's try the next one. Numbers aren't quite as big. Starting at 2, and I have to get to 5, which means I actually have to get bigger. I have to get 3 bigger. The only way to make this an addition is to put a second minus sign in there and go 3, because that is 2 plus 3, which makes the 5. And for the last one, these 2 minus signs in the middle have to be a plus, right? So it's 7 plus, I need something else here to make a 9. I would need to add on 2. Okay, now the questions that I put over here in pink, I hope you've all had a try of them, because I've used the same numbers in every question. It's 2 and 5, and I've just moved the minus signs around into different places so that I hope that we can see the difference between these questions. When I have -2 plus 5, I'm starting at -2 on my number line, and I want to count 5 places to the right, which means my answer is, does anyone know the answer? 3. Okay, a positive 3, because I start at -2 and I jump 5 places. You can have your number line next to you. You've got plenty of them in your booklets. In the second one, the plus minus sign, we learned about that a couple of lessons ago. When they are next to each other, the plus minus sign makes a minus. So it's 5 take away 2, and the answer is 3, coincidentally. Look at the next one, -5 plus 2. We're starting at -5 on our number line, way down here, and I want to add 2, which means jump up 2, and I am at -3. And finally, the last one, the 2 minuses next to each other make a plus, and 5 plus 2 makes 7. So the positions of those pluses and minus signs makes a difference to the answer. When you are adding and subtracting, it is only when the symbols are next to each other that 2 minuses will become a plus, or a plus and a minus will become a minus. Today we're going to be doing multiplication, and you're going to be using some of these same rules that 2 minuses become a plus, but they won't be next to each other like that is. So we need to kind of switch gears. Addition and subtraction. We are using our number line to go up and down, subtracting to the left, adding to the right, but only when the symbols are next to each other do we do the changing. 2 minuses become a plus. Okay? Let me show you the magic squares first before I go to the next section. Filling in the magic squares, we worked out that this diagonal had a sum of 3, and we were working out the rest of them. I've done most of them now. So we have, if I go horizontally across here, 1 minus 6 is -5. What do I have to add to -5 to get to 3? Yes, 8, good. And you could go this way or this way. Maybe let's go across the bottom, nice little numbers down here. 2 plus 4 is 6. How do I get to 3? Yes? -3. Okay, that's the first one. The second one's a little bit trickier because the numbers are bigger. What is the total of each diagonal or vertical or horizontal? Does anyone work it out? You've got one complete row here. -6, -17, and -7. What does that make when you put them together? Roman? Yes, -30. So I'll write that over here on the side, -30. So that means that every horizontal row, every vertical row, and even every diagonal has to make -30. Okay, so let's go across here. We've got two numbers here, minus 3 and minus 17, that's negative 20. So I'm going to have to keep going further to the negative to get to minus 30. How many more do I have to go? Minus 10, good. Okay, what can I do next? Which number can I find next? Yeah, so which one? The diagonal, yeah, good. Across here, the only way I can get two in a row is to do the diagonal this time. So minus 6 and minus 10 is minus 16. How many more do I need to get to minus 30? So again, negative 14, excellent. Now I have lots of options. Let's do this vertical. Minus 14 minus 3 is minus 17. How many more to get to minus 30? Yes. Yes, very good. All right, shall we go across the top? Minus 13 and minus 6 is negative 19. How many more do I need? Yep. Yep, negative 11. And one more. Let's go down maybe. They're nice numbers. Minus 11 minus 10 is negative 21. Negative 9. Negative 9. Good. Okay. So our new stuff for today starts down here. The product, and the word product means to multiply. So put a multiplication sign in there. Or quotient, and the word quotient means to divide. The product or quotient of two numbers of the same sign, i.e. they're both positive or they're both negative, is always a positive number. Okay, so that's kind of like, which is why I did this question up here before, when I was doing adding and subtracting, when I had the two minuses next to each other, it became a plus. Now I am doing multiplication, but this one here's got the minus signs. Have a look at this one here first. A minus 3 times a minus 4. Both of the numbers are negative, and this will also make a positive answer. Okay, they're not going to be next to each other like the addition one was, but when you have both negative numbers, it will become a positive answer. Yes?
Is it because they
Yes. Yes. Okay, so when you're doing these questions, always work out the sign first. So is my answer going to be positive or negative? And for these ones, they're going to be positive. And then you actually multiply the numbers together. So let's try this one. This is, if there's no symbol there, this means that this is a positive 3. This one here is a positive 4, even though you can't see the plus sign, right? So a positive times a positive means my answer is going to be positive. 3 times 4 is 12. Okay, they're the ones we've been doing in primary school. Now we do the negative ones. A negative times a negative makes a positive. And 3 times 4 also makes a 12. So these two things are exactly the same. Let's do another one. Positive times a positive, going to be positive answer. 5 times 7 is 35. Good. Negative times a negative makes a positive. 4 times 6 is 24. Okay, please try to do this. We're trying to do all this without the calculator because your test, you'll not be using a calculator for this one. The product of quotient or quotient of two numbers of the opposite sign. Okay, opposite meaning that one is a positive and one is a negative. The answer will always be a negative number. Okay, so that's going to be all these ones down here. So the 3, you can see there's a 1 minus sign there. And the 4, because there's no minus, that means that one's positive. So this is my negative, this is my positive. If one's a plus and one's a minus, it means my answer is going to be a negative. Then I do 3 times 4, which is 12. Okay? Same with the next one. This time I'm dividing for the first time. But this is a positive 15 and a negative 3. So if one's a positive and one's a negative, my answer will be a negative. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So negative 5. More on the next page. Question C. Positive 7 and a negative 6. A positive and a negative makes a negative, and 7 times 6 is 42. And negative 63 for negative, that's a positive 9. One's a plus, one's a minus, so it'll be a negative answer. 63 divided by 9 is 7. Do you all know your 9 times tables? Good. No, yes, no? All right. So here is your work for today, pages 20 through to 23.